Hello everybody, War History Geek here, and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be another item highlight video, and today we will be taking a look at the post-World War II Communist Czechoslovakian VZ-24 bayonet. Now, just to give a little background on Czechoslovakian bayonets, the very first one was the VZ-22, which was essentially a copy of the Austrian 1895 model bayonet, which is usually wrongly referred to as the VZ-23 short. This came up at some point, what is just honestly incorrect. Then you have the VZ-23, which was produced, I'm afraid I actually don't have the exact year memorized, but it was produced to go with the new Czechoslovakian VZ-23 rifle, and this is also commonly referred to incorrectly as the VZ-23 long. And only about 100,000 of these were produced before the VZ-24 was introduced for usage with the Czechoslovakian armed forces. Now, there were 4 distinct versions of the VZ-24 bayonet before production ended in 1950. You had the pre-World War II, which the majority of these were mainly based on markings. Then you had the German occupation bayonets, which kind of similar to this one. I can't really explain why the ring is cut here, as you can see. But the Germans, once they took over production, required them to produce them solely for Romania as they joined the Axis powers. And they required that the rings were either partially cut or all the way cut off. You had the post-war period of 1946 to 1947, where it went back to the pre-war standard of production. And then you had the shortest production era, which is what you see here and why I'm making this video, the communist takeover era of 1948 to 1950. Now, the bayonet sheath here, as you can see, I'll zoom in here, is marked E3 with the Czech line 46. Now, this is to show that it was produced in the immediate post-war after the end of the German occupation. And you can see here, the Z inside the circle shows that it was made for export, as the Czechoslovakians made a lot of bayonets and rifles for export to foreign countries. Now, you can see the bayonet itself, as I take it out of the sheath here, is marked right here. Here, let me flip that over for you. Is marked. Where's that marking? There it is. Come on, focus for me. There you go. E3 Czech line 48. And you'll see the hilt here marked TGF. Now, this shows that this was produced in 1948, right after the beginning of the new communist government, as the communist takeover took place in February of 48. So very interesting there. Yeah, that's pretty much the communist bayonet there. The blade, to go along with the export idea, the blade is inverted to show that it was built as part of a contracted production export. And as I said before, the sheath is marked with the Z inside the double circle to show that it was produced specifically for export. This Z also shows that it was produced in Plant 2 of the, I'm not going to try and pronounce it as I'll just embarrass myself, but it's the ZBROJOVKA BRNO, the Zbrojovka Brno, which was located in northwest Slovakia. So just to give you guys a better look at this bayonet as a whole, as you can see here, you have the cut ring, you have the usual bayonet lug here. All the metal is in excellent condition. As far as I can tell, it hasn't been refinished. This is all the original finish. The markings are in excellent condition. It does have a little bit of oxidation over here, but other than that, it's in very nice condition. I'd also like to highlight here that you can see some cuts put into the grips of this. Now, this wasn't, as you can tell, this wasn't a usual thing. This would have been done by the original owner of this bayonet. I can't really tell you why they could have done that. Of course, you have the overused idea of, oh, those are kill marks, but it's very unlikely. In my opinion, it's more than likely just some way to distinguish their own bayonet from the rest of the guys in their unit. Just something that shows that it is specifically theirs. As like, you know, a lot of soldiers would name items. He decided to do this to his bayonet so he could distinguish it from the rest. So very interesting bayonet. This particular type, as I said before, was only produced for 2 years. So in my opinion, it is quite rare. They don't actually go for a lot of money. This particular one with the mismatched sheath, I would say is probably worth, you know, like $70. If you disagree, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. That's just based on some of the research I've done. A lot of people actually don't know a lot of the history behind Czech bayonets. And if they do, it's usually pertaining to the World War II era and before. Very rarely do people read about the post-war era of VZ-24 bayonets, as it was extremely short. So this is just a very interesting, almost, I guess you could argue, one-off version of the VZ-24 bayonet. And again, it's another one of those items where I was doing some research. It's not ever really specifically covered as the communist Czech VZ-24 bayonet. So if somebody in the future comes along this video looking for the communist Czech VZ-24 bayonet, here you go. This is all the information compiled for you that I was able to get my hands on. So that's about all I have for this item. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked my video, make sure to hit the like button, and when you're in that area, hit the subscription button and notification bell. I have plenty of other videos coming in the near future similar to this, so stay tuned for that. See you guys in the next one. Bye.